David had always been a fast runner. In high school, he was the pride of his small town, winning races effortlessly. Everyone called him the Flash of Greenhill. Scouts from colleges were watching, and a bright future seemed guaranteed. But it all changed on a rainy afternoon during the state championships. As he rounded the last bend of the track, just seconds from victory, his foot slipped on the slick surface. He tumbled forward, landing hard on his knee. The pain was sharp, immediate. He tried to get up, but his leg betrayed him. The crowd gasped as runners sped past, and David finished the race dead last, limping across the finish line. Months later, doctors confirmed the worst, a torn ligament. His chances of running competitively again were slim. Offers from colleges disappeared like mist, and with them, his dreams. David became bitter and resentful. He avoided the track, ignored his old friends, and spent most of his days in his room, scrolling through social media, watching videos of runners winning the races he had once dreamed of dominating. One day, his younger sister, Mia, burst into his room. She was holding a flyer for a charity 5K race in their town. "You should run," she said with a hopeful smile. David scoffed. "I can't run anymore." "But it's not about winning," Mia replied. "It's for a cause. The money goes to support injured athletes like you." "Like me?" he muttered bitterly. But Mia wasn't backing down. "You always told me it's not about how you start, but how you finish, remember?" David waved her off, but those words haunted him. They were the same words he had shouted to her during her middle school races, back when life seemed simple and full of promise. The next morning, David found himself standing in front of the old running track. It was empty and silent, except for the distant chirping of birds and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. He hesitated, then slowly took a step onto the track. His knee protested, aching from disuse, but he kept moving forward. "One step at a time," he whispered to himself. For the next 2 months, David trained every day. Though it was nothing like before, his runs were slower and shorter, and he had to ice his knee constantly. The pain was real, but so was the determination. This time, it wasn't about winning, it was about finishing. The day of the charity race arrived, and Greenhill was buzzing with excitement. Families lined the streets, holding signs of encouragement. David stood at the starting line, surrounded by runners of all ages and abilities. He felt the old nervous energy rise in his chest, but he breathed deeply and focused on the road ahead. The starting gun fired, and they were off. David ran slowly at first, pacing himself. He could feel the familiar rhythm of his heart pounding in his chest, his feet hitting the ground in steady strides. People cheered as they passed, recognizing him, calling out, "Go, David!" At the halfway point, his knee throbbed, and the temptation to quit whispered in his mind. But then, from the crowd, he heard a familiar voice. "Keep going, you've got this." It was Mia, waving a bright yellow sign that read, "It's not how you start, it's how you finish." David gritted his teeth and pushed forward. Step by step, he moved closer to the finish line. When he finally crossed it, the crowd erupted in applause. He wasn't first, but he wasn't last either, and in that moment, it didn't matter. Breathing heavily, David saw Mia run toward him, tears in her eyes. "You did it!" she cried. "I finished," he said, smiling through the sweat and exhaustion. Later that day, as they sat together on a park bench, Mia asked, "So, what's next?" David looked out at the horizon where the sun was setting in vibrant hues of orange and purple. He felt a quiet strength rising within him. "Whatever comes," he said, "I'll keep running." Because David had learned something far more valuable than winning. Life is about getting back up when you fall and finding the courage to finish, no matter how long it takes. And in that lesson, he found his greatest victory yet. David's story reminds us that the journey matters as much as the destination. It's not how fast or flawlessly we run, but that we keep going, even when it's hard. Because real success isn't about crossing the finish line first, it's about finishing with heart. If you like the video, subscribe for motivational videos.